Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun Live. We have a lot of unfinished business from last week, but before we jump into that, I just want to sincerely wish all of you who are celebrating Hanukkah a very happy day one of your Hanukkah celebration, and just pray that it'll be a blessed one for you. I know it's a tough year this year, but God is still with you. So just praying for you guys that everything will go well. Well, anyway, we have some finished business. Because of your generosity over the weeks, we are able to send in another donation to Rancho 3M. So thank you very much. We sent $105 to them. And that is an orphanage just south of the border, just across the border from El Paso, Texas. In case you're familiar, it's in Juarez. It's one of the worst places I've ever been on earth. I've been there. My daughter and I have actually helped on the compound. It's a real place, so it's not a scam or anything. And they do a fantastic work. Again, they take in orphans, and they also have a Christian school there for some of the people in that area, and are doing a great thing. So I thought I would play a song for you. Usually do a parody or something, but this is Christmas, so we're gonna the Christmas holiday season. So I'm going to play one of my favorite Christmas songs. Actually, I'm going to try to do two, just to try to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and wing it here. I'm going without music today, so we'll go ahead and give it a go. Ready? This is "Joy to the World." All right, took me a minute there to get warmed up. um, One of my favorites. And I wanted to try to play another one. This is going to be a little more risky, but I'm going to go ahead and try it. This is a Native American flute. This is one of the flutes that I got to play back in Nashville on my friend's song for Lahaina. So I want to play O Come, O Israel on this one for you. And in case you're not familiar, there are two instruments here put together. One here that has changing notes, and this is just a drone pipe, which I'll play maybe the second round here. So I'm going to give this a good try. I hope you enjoyed that. It's so much fun to play these things. Um, Thanks for being patient with me too. Oh my goodness, this is so much fun. I love Christmas music. I love this time of the year for that. Um, just can't get enough. So if I could play music all the way through November until the next year, I would. But my husband might have something to say about that one. Anyway, I just want to go ahead and join the chat here. You guys have been so patiently waiting. Barbie, so good to see you. Thank you for being our first to chime in this morning. She says, morning, Bonnie and crew. Cold and snowy, perfect for Christmas lights and crochet. Last night I watched all of your holiday blanket videos. I attempted it years ago. Now I will try again. Well, great, Barbie. You know where to get me if you have any trouble. And just for those of you who don't know, there are at least 3 um, cable crochet style blankets for, the holidays on my site, and all 3 of the patterns are free. They're courtesy of Red Heart Yarns, the work that I did for them many, many years ago, more than, hmm, yeah, more than 12 years ago. Ooh, it's been a while. There's the Yule tree throw, which really basically is a Christmas tree throw, and the holiday cables throw. And then there's another one called Divine Textured Cables. Not my choice on the name there. It was named by Red Heart, but those 3 are very Christmassy. Of course, you can make anything into a Christmas throw if you want, because I think, like the white color behind me, reds, greens, really anything can work for that. So Marie Proudfoot, good to have you in the chat, my friend, from South Carolina, and Margita from Sweden. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. I'm confusing people. Yeah, someone's asking about the white blanket. Actually, this is the I just put the poncho. This is just the poncho sitting there. Let me go ahead and do this right here. It's an off-center button. So this is the Inishman poncho. It just looks like a blanket. I just had it sitting back over here just to keep it out of the way and handy. It was usually on the mannequin behind me. So we have Alana. Yeah, no problem, Hannah. Yeah, I knew that was going to be, I knew someone was going to ask about that, but yeah, it's just a poncho sitting there waiting for me to put it in a better place at some point. We have Alana. Oh, she says, so sorry, I have some extra duties this morning. We'll catch up with you later today. Not a problem. Thank you for even just commenting in, Alana. That's so wonderful if you do that. And Kelly Hart, thank you. She says, stopped in and can't stay long. Not feeling well at all today. Oh, sorry about that, Kelly. I hope you feel better. And Kelly, thank you for the Christmas card you sent me. That was so sweet of you to do. I wish I could send you all Christmas cards um, in the physical form, but honestly, I just ordered my Christmas cards with the pictures and stuff. I'm a little late at this week, and I usually get them from Costco. And if Costco, of course, has moved out of doing the printing stuff on site, they used to cost me like $20 to $35, about $35 for my cards. I send out about 100. I ordered them when Shutterfly last night with a 50% discount. They were like 3 times as expensive as they were last year. So yeah, it's getting a little pricey. And then there's the stamps. The stamps were over $100 to send. Well, not quite over 100. They're 66 cents. Did you know that stamps, a first class stamp, is now 66 cents? Just in case you haven't been keeping up. But yeah, I bought 60 something dollars, I guess, worth just to send those out. So yikes. Not trying to fuss. I love doing that. I do send my cards out, but wish I could send them to everybody. But again, that would probably put me in the poorhouse. So I hope the Christmas songs are going to be okay for this year. Anyway, thanks again, Kelly, for sending me the card. That was very special. I'm going to hang it up in my home. And good morning, Angie and Denise. So glad you could join us from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Brr, that makes me cold. It's a little chilly here. I think it's in the 40s here. I can check my phone to see what the phone says, how cold it is. I usually just check 50 degrees. Heat wave. Yeah, it's gonna be warmer today. It's Saturday. Sunday's gonna be nice and warm here, and then it goes back down again. But, I'll be heading to South Carolina tomorrow. So, let me just go ahead and tell you right now, and as I said in my newsletter, this is not a sales gimmick to make you buy anything you don't want, I promise. But just as a community notification, my Etsy store will still have my PDFs, continually. But the books that I send out and sign from home, I'm going to be shutting that down at 2 o'clock today. So 2 o'clock, they're coming down off of my Etsy store. Just to let you know, if you want any last minute purchases for the holidays, if sent by me, of course, you can always buy things from Amazon. Those poor guys are out there delivering all the time, and I am thankful for them. And try to give them a Pepsi or a Coke or a drink of water or whatever whenever they come and I see them. I'll just always ask, "Do you need a drink or something? I want to give you something." But anyway, um, that the books, my let me show you the books that I send out, from my Etsy store signed are coming down at 2 p.m. today, and I won't be able to send out any more until January because I just won't be here to do it. And I just don't carry all the books with me when I travel anymore. It's just too much to keep up with. So thanks in advance for your understanding. And again, that's not a one of those, oh, the clock is ticking, one of those awful sales pressure tactics. Don't see it that way at all. And if you're watching this as a rebroadcast, the time's already they're already done. So see you in January if you're looking for a book. But anyway, not assuming that anybody does, but I just wanted to let you all know that. And Carol G from Northern California, welcome to Friday Fun. And thank you for encouraging Kelly Denise. And Phil, she says hello from extreme southwestern Colorado near Cortez. Oh, I love Colorado. Southwest. So that'd be south. Okay. So I don't know if you're near the Rockies at that point. I'm not sure how south in Colorado where they how that works. I have to look at a map. But I hope you're enjoying some beautiful scenery there, Phil. And may your payloads be continuous or as much as you want on these truck runs. And thanks again for the way that you are serving us out there. Um, and you all look out for trucks, man. When they're out on the road, give them wide berth. Be courteous, okay? Be courteous. They can't stop as fast as we can. And Lynn, oh my goodness, she says, "Good morning, Sister Bonnie, and everyone in the chat. Hope you and everyone is feeling gorgeously beautiful." Well, Lynn, after I read your comment, I am feeling gorgeously beautiful. So thank you, my friend. You have such a way of encouraging, and don't ever stop. That you have a gift there. And Michelle, good morning to you from Helena, Montana. Whoa. And oh, Phil says he got to see Moab, Utah this morning. Breathtaking. I've never been to Utah. I would like to add that state to my list. When I saw Moab at first, it really made me think of the Holy Lands, which was, as you know, the home place of Ruth. Um, for those of you familiar with the scriptures, so they were kind of outcast, which is kind of interesting the way they chose that name, for Utah, probably a Mormon choice, knowing the persecution that they've encountered for forever. But anyway, yeah, it just reminded me of Ruth when I saw Moab, and then I had to read a little bit further. Oh, Utah! Wow! So I didn't even know there was a place named that. So I hope you're having a great time there. Let's see, Lynn. Oh, thank you for encouraging Hannah Lynch. We all need that, don't we? Don't we all? I don't know how many of you guys are kind of experiencing the holiday blues, or I don't know what you want to call it. Today, the sun is shining here, which is unusual because the last 4 or 5 days, it has been gloomy, it has been foggy. I mean, almost like London. I mean, it's just been gray and dreary and not raining, not snowing, but just I don't know, kind of dripping misery. And And being from a kid raised in South Florida, I just have a hard time with that. And we're coming up on some anniversaries of when my mom passed, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, Lord, make it stop. So I just want you to know that when I think of you guys and pray for you, um, that I am thinking, I know this is a tough time of the year. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, just know that it can be a wonderfully glorious, miserable time for some of us. I mean, not for me all the time, but I'm just saying in general, it can be a really painful time. So be nice to people, not just because we're celebrating Christ's birth, well, because we're celebrating Christ's birth as well, but that's the one reason to be happy and to be joyful, to be blessed, but and to bless others. But just know people are going through a hard time. I know you know that, but and for those of you who are on the younger end of the spectrum and just haven't lived long enough to suffer, just be nice to the rest of us because it can be really hard some days, and then some days can be on top of the world, and then the next, followed by. Okay, I don't want to dwell on this too much, but you know what I'm talking about. So thank you for being with me today. This really does make my day, just visiting with you all, even though I'm doing all the talking. Um, Miss Wanda, thank you for being in our chat today. She says, beautiful sunny day in Bahama. I learned how to pronounce it better. It's not Bahama, it's Bahama, North Carolina. But I was talking with Wanda this week, and she says, praying everyone is doing well. That's so kind of you, Wanda. I was talking with her this week in our Zoom time we had on Monday evening. This is for the watch subscribers. So if you're, looking for a place to watch my content and more exclusive content and get complimentary downloads of everything I put out there going forward, um, check out my watch channel at the video. In the video description, there is a link for that. It's basically a site that has no commercials, no spam. No one's going to track your progress or bug you or try to sell you something you just don't want to hear about. So, yeah, and there's no spammy stuff on there at all. Just try to be helpful with designs, and there's some behind the scenes content, and there are some crochet classes on there that I have taught at conferences that would have cost more than $250 to $300. So lots of good content. And we're trying to do Zoom live hangouts with each other as a group. And the groups have been relatively small, which has been really good. So if that's something that's interesting to you, and someone's asking you, what do you want for Christmas? And you want something useful, maybe drop them the link, say, hey, get this for me for a year. It's $6.95 per month or $69.50 for the year, which is a little bit of a discount if you go for the year. So anyway, just something there. No pressure, and not trying to say, oh, this is going to disappear in 10 seconds, so you got to push the button out. None of that nonsensical pressure stuff from me. And if you ever feel that from me, you come let me know and talk to me about it, because I don't want you ever to feel that from moi. But anyway, had a great time, and in that conversation, I think it was a couple of conversations ago, Wanda was able to pronounce the name and set me straight on that. So thank you again, Wanda, I think I talked about this last week, but thank you again. So it's Bahama, North Carolina. And I will wave at you as I drive through North Carolina through all the traffic and the construction on I-95 tomorrow, my friend. I'll be waving at you, okay? So if you feel like someone's watching you, that was me going by at about 75 miles an hour. 70. I'll keep it within the speed limit, but you gotta stay alive too. Um, and Michelle has been to Moab, it looks like. Yeah. Um, and Wilson Arch. Well, if I ever get out that way, Phil, I got to check that stuff out. I just had a ton of things load. And Hannah is in our chat. Thank you, Hannah, for joining us. Let's see. Where are we? Where are we? Oh, we have Nicole. Good morning to you, Nicole. And thanks for caring for Kelly, Wanda. And Bobby is in the chat. Bobby, it's so good to see you. I think about you often. Hope you're doing well. He says, just got back from shopping. It's a madhouse. LOL. Ugh, yeah, it is. I'm about to get out there this afternoon, not because I need to buy anything, but I'm going to one of these outdoor outlet places that's nearby. Um, just because I want to walk around in the sunshine. I need to get out of the house, and I'm going to do that today. And if it's 50 degrees out there, there's no excuse to stay in for me because I know that's not going to change, but I'm not going to be that way all the time. But Bobby, it's so good to have you in the chat. I hope you are doing well. Please tell Tammy I said hi. And so we have Karen. Good day to you too, Karen. And Red Hook, it's good to have you in the chat. And she's coming to us from a very sunny day in Ravenna, Ohio. And we have Kuru. Let me try to get this right. Okay, I'm just going to say Nico Mata. Is it Nico Mata? Curio? No, Kuroi? Is it Kuroi? Nico Mata. Well, sorry, I need more practice on that. But welcome to our chat. I'm trying to I think making a mistake there, but I'm trying to pronounce your name, but I like to give it a good high school try, you know? I'm so glad that you're here and thank you for being patient with me. And Chelsea from Alberta, Canada, welcome, Chelsea. And thank you, Wanda, for the reminder. If y'all want to hit that thumbs up, that would really help this go a little bit further. And again, Hannah, thank you for being in the chat. Okay, thank you, Hannah. She said Nico. All right, Nico, thank you for being patient with me, and I'll try to remember that going forward. All righty. Let's see, who else do we have here? And Susan AB, and we have Merle. Okay, Merle. She says, hello, hope everything is well. Yes, indeed. And thank you, Denise, for your sweet encouragement. And let's see. And Tracy, hello to you. And thank you for greeting Hannah, Susan. That's really sweet of you. Oh, thank you, Nico, for your kind encouragement on the flute. And Shatika Wood says, good morning, blessings. I look like coffee and crochet going there. And Sheila, thank you so much for the amens there. And thank you, Red Hooked and Denise. I so appreciate your encouragement. And thank you guys again, just for your generosity and just helping us together to be able to bless the children in Mexico. A little bit of money. It's real funny that we may not think anything of $100, although I still think of, I remember what it was like when I was a kid and working the Christmas tree lot. And I was in high school. This would have been the like 1980. And I remember getting like a $5 bill for a tip for helping to tie a Christmas tree to someone's roof. That's probably like getting a $20 bill or more nowadays. And I mean, $5. I mean, gee, that was amazing. I could go to the record store and buy an entire LP for $5. I mean, that was so much money. And so when I say $100 is nothing, don't hear me say that it's nothing, but you know what I'm saying, that the $100 to Mexico, to the people at this orphanage, goes a lot longer, a lot further than what we can imagine. All right. And from Sabina, greetings from a cold and snowy Germany. Is the pattern for the tunic top still on track for release in January? For the one behind me, it will probably be January. I haven't scheduled it just yet. I have a lot of work to finish up before the year ends. But yeah, I'm hoping to get this out in January. So thanks for your interest in that, Sabina. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you, Phil, for your encouragement. And Wanda, you all are so kind. And Tracy and Michelle, thank you so much. Come on, why? Okay. What's going on here? Trying to I clicked on something and it was covering up your kind comments. Thank you, Karen. Thank you guys for showing grace. And Oh, the raspberry pink one, Sabina. Yeah, I don't know if that's January. I may um we'll see. We'll see how January goes. I can try. Um I'm a little hesitant to release two sweaters too close together. It might be more like February. But I'm not real sure yet on that one. I have to be careful because honestly, sweaters, even though you guys are real go-getters, sweaters are not real popular on this particular platform. Crocheters are can tend to be terrified of crocheting sweaters or just not convinced that they can look as good as a knit sweater. And I'm kind of living my life to disprove the latter, that that they're not as nice as knitted sweaters. I'm actually wearing a sweater that's crocheted using uh, it was a DK weight yarn that I got from Knit Picks. It's a tweed, and this was called my first crocheted sweater. It's designed to be on the very easy side for absolute beginners. It's crocheted in one piece, and anyway, you can check out the website. I did put the link in the video description below. You can use a number 2 or a number 3 weight yarn, depending on if you want a chunkier sweater or not. But you can check that out and see if that's something that you're consider. It's not shaped maybe as it's more of a T style, so you might have a little bit of bulkiness under the arms from some of my other sweaters, but it's a fun sweater to wear and it fits fine. But anyway, I'm a little hesitant to release two sweaters back to back just because yeah, people might just get tired of that and not really be much interested. I don't tell me though if you are interested, that's great. But I'm just saying that it's a small percentage of crocheters who are willing to even give it a try because there's risk involved, getting it to fit just right. People are just a little scared of that. So anyway, that's my song and dance on that, Sabina. Stay tuned. I will be releasing it early, probably no later than March. Um, on that, probably more like February, because I'm thinking it would be a nice spring sweater to wear. Once the weather starts to release its icy grip on us. Um, Tracy says, Christmas music is the only thing in my car now. Good for you, girl. Yeah, I downloaded. I'm an Apple Music subscriber, so I downloaded a bunch of new Christmas music to listen to. Plus, I have my old favorites, and I think I have a couple of real staples of music, but my absolute all-time favorite still is. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. It's by Wayne Watson. Some of you may not even know who Wayne Watson is. Let me see if I can find it here. Probably not. Let me see if I can find. Ah, here it is. This is what the album looks like. One Christmas Eve by Wayne Watson. So you can look that up and see what you think. I mean, this was recorded, 2007, but it is one of my all-time. I just love the way he sings. He just really sings clearly. You can understand him, and it's mostly the classics and just a couple of his original songs. He's a really great songwriter that tells stories. So I really enjoy his music, and he loves the Lord, and he just really likes to belt it out. And I do too. So the two of us go down the driving in cars. Speaking of Christmas music, so if you ever see me driving and I look like I'm preoccupied and singing out my heart, I probably am just listening to some of his music. But anyway, um, let's see. We have again. Thank you guys for your sweet encouragement. Oh, Cynthia, she says, "Good morning from Illinois," and me. She said, and I said, "Me and my COVID cough." Oh, I'm sorry. Said, I unfortunately know exactly what that's like, times two, but thankfully not at the moment. But I hope you get over. I hope it. Hope it passes quickly so that you can really enjoy the holidays. Um, oh, thank you. Gracie's Place is joining us from and sending blessings from Northern Ireland. Ireland. Wow. Marlow. Wow. Well, thank you for joining us, Gracie's Place. It's so good to have you here. Um, your country has been the most inspirational country on the face of the planet for the work that I do. Or I call it work, but it's what God has allowed me to be able to do with the crochet. Your country rocks as far as that goes. I just love the traditional, the cables, just everything about it. The music, you name it. Um, and we have thank you, Wanda, for encouraging Cynthia. Wow. And then we have uh Nico says, I unfortunately missed your last streams due to working late shift. Sorry. Oh, that's too bad. Um, my son Hudson knows what that's like. He's worked third shift and second shift. He's yet to get on first shift with his job, and it's so hard when you work second and third shift because you just miss out on everything that's normal with the rest of us. And I know my son is just anxious to get into a job where he works at the same time everybody else is working and then is off when other people are off. And thank you again, Hannah, for putting information out there for us. Um, love to craft, waving right back at you. Um, and Wanda says, remember when you used to buy a book of stamps? Now it's a little piece of paper. Yeah. And the stamps are only like on one and a half sides, Wanda, because the other one is just advertisement, which would have been the front of the book years past. Yeah. I tell you how old I am. I remember helping my mom with stamps, sending out Christmas cards. And I remember a picture of Eisenhower's. He's one of our presidents from the past, in case those of you who don't know who Eisenhower is. Dwight D. Eisenhower, with a picture of his face and 4 cents stamped on it. So I used to remember helping her with 4 cent stamps. And then when I got engaged back in 88, yes, stamps were 18 cents when I got engaged, but by the time it was time to send out the invitations, they went from 18 cents to 25 cents. And yeah, that was a long time ago. So now they're 66 cents and probably going up at the first of the year. So keep, if you do a lot of mailing out, you know these things, but I always have to ask because I have to check the internet because it's always a changing, just like everything else. Denise says, I want to send you a card, but I don't have your mailing address. Well, that's very kind of you, Denise. You don't have to do that. Besides, I probably won't even be home. We're going to get all these cards while uh, I'm going to be in South Carolina for the rest of the year. My husband will be here. And we will, somebody does watch the house all the time. But in case anybody's getting ideas, um, no, we have somebody here watching the house or at the house just about all the time, and not to mention surveillance cameras. So even if you do want to come and just help yourself to whatever's in our house, good luck with that. You'll be notified probably before you realize it. Anyway, we have Melissa Rodriguez says, hello, Bonnie. Beautiful music. Thank you so much, Melissa. Blessings from Sebastian, Texas. Well, welcome. Um, I went to school with so many people with the last name Rodriguez when I was in South Florida. A lot of great people with that name. Um, so we have Nico says 28.4 degrees Fahrenheit the last days. Today it's 35 degrees and feels pretty warm. Yeah. Ooh, that's cold. You've been below freezing, my friend. That's tough. I remember, or I'm well aware that, once you've been through temperatures below the freezing point for so long, then when it does get above 32, it does feel almost balmy. I know people in Florida are rolling their eyes at me like saying, sure, sure. Because I know you guys freeze when it gets into the down below 70, you guys are freezing. But your problem in Florida is you don't have the clothes. That's so it's a valid excuse. But yeah, whenever it's below freezing for a long period of time and then it gets above freezing, it's just like, wow, take the coat off. It feels like Florida out here. Well, not quite Florida, but it just feels nice. But I hope you can hang in there for the cold cold temperatures, Nico. Um, and that's a good question, Hannah. She just sent me Josie's question. Do you ever or how often do you work on projects that are just for you and not for pattern release? That's a great question. I did the other night. I was playing with some extra thick yarn. I was making a headband using knitting. But even that was kind of thinking of maybe a possible, beginner video. So not very often. Partly because a lot of the things that I crochet for my channel, believe it or not, are things that I want to wear, that I will be wearing. Like this sweater behind me, I've wanted to make one of those, and I've experimented with other yarn, and I just absolutely made a mess of it. So that's why this one came out so well, is because the first one I did was not very good. Um, yeah, I liked it. I crochet things that I want to wear. Um, so it's not too often. Um, but I have knit things that I do just for me. And in fact, you may just be able to push me over the edge just a little bit here, because I've been looking at getting some yarn to make myself another knit sweater with, the very colorful yoke. There's one that I have in mind. It's one of these patterns that is from Knit Picks. It's no longer available, primarily because the colors that were used in this sweater, which are absolute drop dead gorgeous, aren't available. They're not all available for whatever reason. So I made a decision in my head, and I'm gonna make a slick transition here. Um, I'm going to um, try to look at two yarn palettes. Where is the other one? Let me show you the other one. Um, I decided that I'm going to try to substitute one, yarn from one of these two companies. I haven't decided which yet, because I can get, I think, similar colors enough from a different brand yarn. I was going to show this to you. I talked about it last week, but I didn't show it to you. This is comp yarn, which means yarn that was sent to me by Barocco per my request, to remake a sweater. And I showed you last week. I'll just tell you about it. It's the beanie sweater, Binni, a sweater. It's in my book, Celtic Cable Crochet. I'll just show the book quickly for those of you who have that. So it's in this book. And it's been requested by me a couple times, and I've hesitated to make it, but I've committed by ordering the yarn. So now it's a matter of working up the videos for this, which again, this is a little bit further down on my to-do list, so it's not going to be anytime soon. But I am okay. This is a long about way to answer Josie's question. I am going to order yarn just for me, just for my pleasure of knitting. It's either going to be from this color palette, which is Barocco's Vintage DK, which is 50%, 52% acrylic, 40% wool, 8% nylon. But I'm actually leaning more towards this type of yarn that I got. This is Cascade 220. It's been around forever, and it will probably be around forever. And the color palette, when I say color palette, what I mean by that for both of these yarns is that it's massive. It's a huge color selection. Some yarns, when they come out, you have like 6 or 7 or 8 colors to choose from. Some maybe more, some less. But these two particular companies, Barocco with the vintage colors, and it comes not just DK, but it comes in all sizes. Worsted, it comes in chunky. I think it comes in sock weight as well, and a sport weight. Huge color palette, lots of colors to choose from. And the same with this. This is Cascade Yarn 220, and the heathers are absolutely spectacular. And this is This is 100%. Let me look just to verify. This is 100% Peruvian Highland wool. So it's not the superwash. This is regular wool, but this is Peruvian Highland wool. It feels very nice. It's not super soft like alpaca, but the good thing about this kind of wool is it has a bounce back springy effect. So it's going to hold the shape better. And the way these natural fibers, 100% natural fibers, the way they receive the yarn dye is different. It's not like your standard uh, acrylics. I mean, it just has a little bit of flecks of different colors you see in there, and it's just gorgeous. So I'm thinking I'm going to order from Cascade Yarns, pay for this out of my own pocket, and just knit me a sweater because I think with their color palette, they have the colors that I could substitute for this particular sweater. And when I get closer to doing that, I'll actually show you what I'm doing. All right. Oh, I wanted to show you something else. Okay. And I did put the link in the video description. If you're looking for a quick gift for somebody, and all you need, well, let me go ahead and show you what it is. The trick is not eating it all yourself before you get it out of the house. I have my recipe for homemade peanut butter fudge. I have given this as gifts. I think, close your ears, Hannah. I almost want to make a bunch of this again to take south with me. I might make it once I get to Grandma Barker's and just give it to my kids, give them each a batch. But this stuff keeps very well in the refrigerator. Um, and the ingredients, oh, it just smells so good. The ingredients are mostly peanut butter. So if you're allergic to peanut butter, this isn't for you. Peanut butter, um, powdered 10x sugar, a little bit of vanilla, 1 stick of butter, and oh yeah, cocoa, 4 heaping teaspoons of cocoa. The link for the video on how to do this is in the video description, but if you don't want to watch me do this and show you how easy it is, you do it on the stove over a medium burner, and then you pour it into a glass dish. Um, and then what I like to do is let it cool down and then maybe stick it in the refrigerator and help it to cool down a little bit faster. And then you can cut it into slices. And one quick way to cut this into slices easy is to get a sharp pizza cutter and just use that to just roll it through to cut this into pieces because it can be a little stiff. Um, but anyway, the recipe, all that I said, you don't have to follow the video. You can just go to that video, click on the video description of that fudge, a peanut butter fudge video, and the recipe is right there. You can just screenshot it and, uh, print out, a copy of that. But anyway, real quick, kind of a thing that's probably my favorite thing to do, especially now because my kids aren't here and I don't have grandkids around my feet in my home. But once they're big enough, we're going to be doing the cookies and all that other stuff. It's just that I didn't want to mess up the kitchen and do all that stuff by myself. That's more fun when you have a group of people, to do that with. But this works up really quickly. Um, unless you have the burner too high and you absolutely ignore it and burn it, it's really hard to mess up. I'll just say that it's hard to mess up. And okay, so much for that. Um, oh, thank you, Hannah, for the way you're interacting and encouraging people. I so appreciate that. Getting back to the comments here. Charlene says, hello, everyone. Thank you for starting my Friday with Christmas music, coffee, crochet, and Bonnie. What a great Friday. Hope all is well. Please remind everyone Christmas is a celebration of Jesus's birth. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. I'll fuss the moment, then I'll be done with it. And in case you haven't noticed, I do send out my newsletter, but I'm just not real big on advertising, push, push, push on buy this, buy that, buy the other thing for the holidays. I did have my books on special. I mean, I wanted to make them available, but I get a little tired of all the stuff coming in at me, and the sales tactics can be ruthless sometimes, and like I said, I just get a little tired of the cringe worthiness of all of that. But you're right, it is about the birth of Jesus and our savior come to earth. Um anyway, all right, Michelle has another question. Question: if wool is not superwash, is it finicky to care for? I'd hate to make something and then end up with it shrinking and felting. Um, Good question, Michelle. I would say anything you crochet uh, that's not 100% acrylic is going to be a little finicky. Superwash wool can be washed. That's true. Um, but you don't want to be careless about that either. What people don't understand sometimes about superwash wool is the process that they put the superwash wool through kind of takes out that elasticity that's natural in wool. So, sorry, there's something outside. Okay, it's a helicopter going over. It's like there's something big outside. I didn't know what the sound was. Okay. Um, Superwash wool kind of stretches out a bit. So you really have to be careful. If you get it wet, you don't want to, really agitate anything made of any kind of wool. Um, as long as you don't just throw it in the washer machine. Yeah, if you agitate the the wool a lot, yeah, it could felt. Alpaca can felt as well, so you have to be really careful. I did that, and I put one of my alpaca ponchos, and it's still fine. I wear it; it's still fine. Actually, I kind of like it the way it came out. It kind of shrank it up a little bit. I put it in one of those lingerie bags, one of the bigger, like a sweater bag, and I put it in my front loader, and it was just a little too much agitation for it. So really what we need to do is take Woolite or some other type of soap that's designed for woolen items. And I would just hand wash it gently in the sink, put it in the pan or your sink, and just gently, swish the the soap or whatever through it, gently, rinse. And then what you want to do is roll it up into like a couple of towels, and then to get the water out that way. You don't want to wring or swish or squeeze. Just lay it flat and then roll it in a towel to absorb a lot of that. And then of course lay flat, maybe on a sweater dryer to dry. And you can get sweater dryers. They're just like big. Okay, we just got a delivery. All right. Um, Anyway, you could look those up, a nice sweater dryer to just kinda you just kinda hang it to air dry. So, yeah, they are but anything can be finicky. Um, and honestly, I don't wash my sweaters that much because washing clothes is what wears them out. A lot of times, let me show you, I'm wearing, like, an undershirt even under this sweater. So, that the undershirt kind of does 2 things. It helps, obviously, to keep me warm, but, um, it also kind of keeps a lot of the body oils and things like that off of my sweater, and it just keeps them onto the little cotton undershirt, so I don't have to wash the sweaters all the time because that would just wear them out way too, before their time, really. But great question, Charlene. um all right, Sabina says, hi Bonnie, just making your wheat. Okay, wheat sheaf. Okay, yeah, wheat stitch, yeah, cable scarf for a present. Challenging, but finally cracked the technique. Thank you for the beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Yay. I'm glad that worked out for you. Yeah, doing the back crosses on those are a little bit tricky. Well, let me show you a scarf. This one was released this past week. And it's not the wheat, it's the honeycomb, but I wanted to show you 2 different versions. This is an asymmetrical scarf, and it's this size, which is perfect for wrapping around. And you can use, your connectors. I got some of the jewel design connectors, or, stick in your stick pin. just like that. And these are great. You can just put them in and they fit, under your coat when it's cold. So you have a little decorative thing you can wear and, leave on. Or you can just use it for warmth either way. But if you've got your decorative pins and everything, heck, leave it on. So, and I made this one with two contrasting colors. I thought it'd be fun to experiment with that to kind of feature the cabling a little bit. And if you don't like it that way, this is actually the prototype where I just crocheted them with the same color. It's a little more difficult there with the light there. You can see it, so you can see the cable on that side, and wearing it like this, you can still see the cable just fine, and a little more subtle. Maybe if people want to be a little more subtle, and I think if you use lighter colors on this one, you will see the cable even better. All right. So this was just kind of an experiment in color when I had these two colors. I wanted to, just see if I could break some of my own rules and use some colorful speckled yarn on this. And I think it kind of worked. I think it did work. Um, but I think going forward, I'll probably just have to stick with some lighter colors, trying that, without the two contrasting colors. So those are up on my YouTube channel here. And in case you may have recognized, this is actually I redid an older design. I actually the original honeycomb scarf like this is the asymmetrical scarf, was done using knit crate yarn. And the yarn that they sent me was just so nice, but it was also very busy. So you never really saw the cable in that one. So I wanted to try to experiment with that more, and I wanted to re-release it so that people can see it. It's amazing to me how you can just change up the yarn on something and it's like you have a completely different design. So again, this is something that you can play with, maybe even use your stash leftovers from other projects. I've been collecting all of my yarns, my sock weight. I actually collected them from here, there, and everywhere, and I put them all together. So I have quite a nice collection now of all my sock weight yarn that I've used on scarves and tops and things. So I may have to throw something together, maybe a shawl or something that just has all these colors in it. It's a ton of different yarn. All right, let's see. What else do I have on my list? And for those of you who haven't subscribed to my newsletter, please take a look. You can look at the video description below at bonniebay@me.com. No, that's my email. Let me try this again. bonniebay.com or bonniebaycrochet.com. Both of those work. Will take you to my website where you can just sign up if you haven't already. I try to send them out. I try to do weekly or every other week, just to update you. And a lot of the stuff we talk about here is just all written out. And occasionally I'll put some extra pictures in there, um, if I have them available, just to kind of update you all. All right. Getting late. My goodness. We have Anna from Sweden. Wow. She says, the scarf you released this week is absolutely beautiful. Have a lovely Friday and weekend. Thank you so much, Anna. And if you're looking for more like that, if you go to the playlist on my homepage and then look for scarves, and you'll see a lot of other different designs just like that if you all are looking for that. Don't know where you guys are on, Christmas presents. Again, not pushing presents, but if you are looking for a list where you can just make something quickly to give to a friend to be kind or something like that, I do have a playlist in the video description, and I think there are like 60 different things that you can make from stash, maybe using a lot of them use the cotton for dishcloths. Probably my all-time favorite is the circular dishcloth. It's just single crochet and around with a little edging. You can make them look like flowers and put them in a nice little arrangement, or a basket, or just give them to them as is. So lots of economical gifts that say, I love you, I'm thinking of you, without breaking the bank. And you don't even have to run to the store to buy anything. You don't have to buy anything from me. The video is online, it's free. and you can follow along with that. Um, oh, from Charlene Lucas. She said, "Did you get my funny picture I sent you about Croc shoes and crocheting? I laughed every time I think about it." Yeah, I did see that. I don't know that it came through Instagram, Charlene, but I did see that recently. I hope if I didn't respond, forgive me. Yeah, there's this picture of this lady who she's sitting up in her Crocs that have the holes in them, and then a a stick, like that you buy at the craft stores, different like you make kites out of, a stick, which was going through a couple holes in one of her Crocs, through the center of a Super Saver yarn skein, and then through the other holes in her other shoe. So she has them away from her, this the yarn in front of her, so that it can freely twirl off. She uses it. That was a great idea. I mean, that's hilarious. Now, the only problem is what do you do when you have to get up and use the restroom or or something like that? I guess you just have to take your shoes off, but that looked really clever. Very, very clever. Uh let's see what else we got here. Um all right, Hannah, you are doing a great job. Thank you again. Thank you, Donna. She says peace. Glad to see you. Thank you. Um, from Ruth, a new subscriber. Welcome, Ruth. Do you sell any yarn? And the question to follow, what brands would you recommend? Personally, no, I do not sell yarn. I do use affiliate links, sometimes when they're available, and it's generally for yarn that I do endorse, and what I mean by endorse is that I like a lot, I recommend it, but I'm not getting paid by the company or anybody to say that. I so far I want to stay that way, um, because I want to maintain my own voice in this matter so that I can speak freely and not be told what to say. I did make a video for. Okay, I'm going to step on some toes here, and that's not my intention, but I'm just going to be honest with you. Hobby, Hobbi, the company from Denmark, asked me to evaluate some yarn. So I said, I will evaluate, but it's going to be my voice. And they were okay with that. But then they, before I could release the video, they were very controlling as far as how they wanted the video to look. And they really wanted me to be endorsing this, that, and the other thing. I tried to check their boxes as honestly as I could, but I could no longer work with them just because I actually requested yarn from them at one point that I wanted to try for a particular design, but they were pointing me to some cheaper, kind of junkier stuff. And I just wasn't happy with that. And so I just said, well, thanks, but no thanks. And I did take the video down. So don't even try looking for it. It's not up anymore. Because I was not comfortable with that. I want to I'm a little stubborn. I guess that's, my mom would say, "That's the German coming out of you." Well, praise God, because that's a good thing. I think, in this case, I want to keep my voice. I don't wanna be told what to say, especially if it's endorsing something, and I don't want to be guilty of selling my audience out in any way, even if it's for a profit. God help me, I'm not gonna do it. Um in fact, I've got a video coming. I haven't even started working on it yet. And Hannah, you don't know, but you're going to be part of the research that I'm going to be doing. Remember last week, somebody was talking about these crafting pillows? Well, I went ahead and I ordered a few of these, paid for them with my money so that I can give you my opinion. And I'm also going to survey all the people in my house over the holidays. I'm going to have them. It's a house full of crafters and gamers, so and book readers. So I'm going to give them all. I'm going to say, I want you to try all these pillows, and I want you to fill out a small survey for me, and then we're going to give you that information online. So stay tuned. In early 2024, that's going to be coming, and I'm excited about this because I can't wait to see which one I like the best. And I've probably said too much already, but I'm going to be comparing the cheap ones to the expensive ones. And I'm not going to tell the people using them which are which. So we're going to try to make this as much as possible a blind test to see who likes what. And because I paid for them, nobody can tell me what I can and can't say. And I'm not going to promote one over the other because it's more expensive. I'm going to say nope. We're gonna give this an honest go. So anyway, I talked way too long about that. But Ruth, just to answer the question, yeah, I don't sell any yarn. Uh, Currently, I mean, that could change in the future. But if I do sell yarn, it's going to be really good yarn. It's going to be yarn that you're going to love. Um, and brands that I'd recommend, that's I like Barocco. I like Cascade yarns. They're also very good with designer support. Some Lion brand stuff, they're not as Lion brands. Some of their stuff is okay. Um, they keep putting out a lot of new stuff, so I can't speak for everything in their line. I have used their yarn and I've enjoyed that. I even like some Red Heart, although the consistency varies from color to color in their the way they process it. I'm not joking. If if you've used Red Heart yarn a lot, you know what I'm talking about. It can be kind of crispy on some colors, and then other colors can be fine. So quality controls. Quality control though. I really like paint box yarns, very much so from Love Crafts. As far as quality control goes, I have found them to be probably the best on knots. Um, Red Heart, Lion Brand, I've gotten a lot of knots in their yarn at times. Maybe I'm not, I don't know. Uh, but I do like, as far as acrylics go, I like, yeah, I do like paint box yarns. I just round up some Debbie Bliss yarn. That's very good. Universal Yarns has some really nice lines of yarn. I really like their cotton, their sock cotton that I've used for my tops. I will not use anything else really for the summer tops. It's just the best. It's pop sock yarns. Very, very nice. And it is 1:02. Goodness gracious, how did we get so late? Well, let me go ahead and just make sure I've said hey to everybody. Linda from Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, welcome to our chat. I am so far behind. Guys, please forgive me this week on this. Um, and Terry Redmond, yeah, she said, hope all is well. On my way to aqua therapy outside. Ooh, 60 degrees. Blessing, at least the sun is shining. Yay, yay, yay. Um, Thank you, Donna, for your prayers. You are so sweet. Um, well, so I'm going to skip over some of these because, Cynthia Burke, talking about worked at the hospital in Ravenna as my first nursing job in 1983. Wow. Thank you for serving us as a nurse, Cynthia. That is great. Um, let's see. Oh, Josie says the anniversary of my mom passing was a few weeks ago. She loved the holidays and would sing Christmas music all year. Oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Yeah, this time of year is always bittersweet. I will keep you in my thoughts. Yeah, thank you, Josie. Yeah, it's the 19th, 20th was about the time that we lost mom. That was really tough. And then her memorial service was Christmas Eve. But we felt like we had to do it then because we knew if we didn't do it Christmas Eve, it would be waiting a couple more weeks. And I just didn't want that to be unresolved. As a family, we needed to be together. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Cynthia, for your encouragement. Oh, we have Judith in the chat. So glad that you can be here. And Arts A Mimos de Rose. So welcome. Hola. Buenos dias, amigo. So glad you could join us. I hope your crochet channel is doing well. She has some lovely things if you all ever want to check her channel out. Um, and Michelle says, and which pillow is best for helping hold our arm under those bitty babies? Yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. Um,
I'm missing a lot of comments, guys. I'm gonna have to go back and read this because it is getting a little bit late. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anybody. Um, oh, thank you, Ruth Morris, for your sweet comment there. Um, all right. And Dana's Wanderlust Crochet. So glad you can join us today. And and Ruth wants to know, do I do an online class every Friday? Um, if you're talking to me, I do the live. This isn't really so much of a class, but I do the we just do our little chat. I try to do go live every Friday at noon. Yes, Ruth. And also to let you know, I am hoping to roll out some class ideas, classes that I will be, that these will be for pay. I will be doing via Zoom in January and February. I haven't released any of those yet. I had to wait until my schedule settled out as far as caring for Hannah's grandma and all. We just had to work out our schedule, which we finally did this week. So once I get settled in South Carolina, and I will be getting those together. And so, what I'll probably end up doing with that is I'll notify you all through a newsletter. Maybe I'll let you know through the lives as well when those are coming up. But just to let you know, I'm going to give they're going to be small classes, probably no more than 15. That will probably be the absolute max that I could handle on a Zoom time, but it will be classes that will be multi-day. In other words, 2 hours on, probably over a 2-day period. So it would have to be, there's a little bit of a commitment there. But the reason I want to do it that way is so that there's time for follow up and asking questions. I know a lot of Zoom classes are 3 hours and then you're done. But a lot of times the questions that you really want to ask come up after you've worked with the material some, and then you want to go back and, hey, I need help with this. So we're going to make it a 2 session, like 2 hours each. Um, the pricing, I'll let you know as we go forward. But the watch channel subscribers, we're going to get first crack at the classes on signing up, and then once they have had a couple days to sign up, and then I will open it up to the public on this, probably through my newsletters, and then going online with it. So just to let you know, I will be coming forth with that. Definitely going to be doing a how to beginning knitting class for crocheters, and we'll be definitely doing some cabling classes. And yeah, at least those two I'll definitely be offering because those were the ones that were asked for the most. And maybe a photography class. I'll probably teach a photography class. I really think that's an important one. So anyway, those will be forthcoming in probably, yeah, give me a couple weeks and I will have that. And yeah, and I always go live on Fridays, noon Eastern time. I'm on the East Coast here. Yeah, you're in Arizona, don't do daylight savings time. So you're gonna be 2 hours behind, I believe. You're an hour ahead of California, if depending on where you are in Arizona, but it would be 2 hours, so it would be 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock in the morning for you, I believe, if I'm doing that right. We have Holly Hook in our chat. Thank you so much for being there with us. And let me just see if there's anybody else that I haven't seen. Um, Phil says honesty is the most important virtue. I agree, Phil. We need to know where we stand, right? But yeah, I'm not perfect. And yeah, I want to try to be as honest, yeah, as I can. Just again, it's still my opinion, and opinions are allowed to differ. But yeah, definitely want to try to be as truthful as possible. Um, Hi Judith, glad that you could join us. Yeah, as far as it being hard, Judith, making a sweater, it just depends on your skill level and you know how much time you really want to put in commitment to put into it, really. Yeah. Um, yeah. All right. So well, let me go ahead. Uh, Oh, thank you, Judith. She says, big hugs to you. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. And Sue wants to know, are any of my asymmetrical scarves in my books? I have a couple. Um, let me see. I have a couple in my Cable Crochet Made Easy book, but what you may want to do is just look at the list on the playlist um, on my channel here. I know that in the books I do have a couple, but the what you can get just looking at on the channel probably would be just enough. But yeah, I do have some of these in my Cable Crochet Made Easy book. Oh, thank you. So let me go ahead. I wanted to finish by reading something encouraging, and since it is the Christmas holiday, so I am going to, without apologies, I am going to read to you um, some words that I even wrote in our family Christmas letter. Yeah, I finally sat down and wrote that last night, so it's kicked it off to my editor, my husband, and waiting for him to get it back to me. But I ended with a couple of the verses in this very song because I know this year has been, we probably say this every year about what a crazy year it's been, but in the news and otherwise, we don't talk about the news here, but it does affect us, and it has not been pretty, to say the least. But I wanted to go ahead and read to you, and we'll end with this. It's called "I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day." This is a song, poem, hymn written by Henry W. Longfellow back in 1864. Hold on a second. All right. So my computer is wanting to update software. It's like, this isn't a good time, computer. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to read the words to this song. I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. I thought how, as the day had come, the belfries of all Christendom had rolled along the unbroken song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair, I bowed my head. There's no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. This is the best part. Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men. And one day it will prevail. Till ringing, singing on its way, the world revolve from night to day. A voice, a chime, a chant sublime of peace on earth, goodwill to men. I hope that encourages you. Wherever you are, no matter what's going on around you, you can certainly be that peace on earth to somebody. It doesn't have to be the whole world, but just to that one person that you encounter today. That makes the whole world difference to that one person, does it not? So anyway, I love you guys. God bless, and I hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.